It's 12 a.m. in Serbia, but I cannot sleep, so I'm going to try and answer this. It's kind of a long explanation that I'm going to try and make really short to make it very simple and kind of point blank. And if you hear Oscar, he's yapping over there. I don't know. None of us are used to the 8-hour time change. Like, it's only, what, let's see, 4 p.m. back home, so we're all like, what do we do? Anyways, okay. First clinic we went to, Mumbai, India, they just did stem cell therapy. Well, okay, these are all stem cell therapy clinics, but they only offered stem cells via IT and IV. So that would be into the spinal fluid and via IV for multiple days. They, at his weight, it was like 110 million. And then the reason that we chose Mexico, one, it came down to like flights. Like, we love the results from India. Absolutely amazing. We're totally willing to go back, except for the flights can really increase like crazy, especially around when colleges get out for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So November was like a no-go. Like, the flights would have been like twice as expensive as the treatment itself. So we were like, okay, well, we found a clinic that's a little bit more expensive, but the flights made it significantly cheaper in Mexico. The other thing is Mexico also offered exosomes. Exosomes apparently can help the stem cells, like I don't even know. Not shelf life, but like the life that it is. I can't even think of what that word is. Anyways, okay, so they offered two things. So same amount of stem cells. He was still about the same. He still is about the same weight. Even though he's a year older, his body mass index, his weight is super low. He's still growing, but it's just hard to get him to gain any weight. It's just a toothpick. Okay. Anyway, so Mexico offered exosomes and stem cells via IV and IT, but instead of doing it all 5 days, like a treatment every single day, they actually just do 2 separated treatments and they space them out 3 days apart. Oscar got super sick on the plane ride home, almost as if he had contracted something like the flight there. Got super sick by the time we flew home, had a horrible asthma attack. Oscar's benefits weren't neurological. They were all primarily like health. He doesn't get sick as much anymore. He was literally sick every other week. I swear it's because he was like licking windows at the therapy clinic, and that must be where they all sneeze or something. I don't know, but always sick. And then he also was hospitalized for his asthma at least once a month, maybe even twice a month. That's like, especially during the winter months. And then once we got back, he had that one asthma attack and none for over 6 months, and hasn't had a single one since that last like flare up. That was it. So it's really weird. It's almost like it like disappeared kind of for over 6 months. And now we're on month like 4 after that. And anyways, okay. So we got a lot of benefits, not neurological gain. So that kind of upset us. So we're like, okay, let's keep looking. It could have just been totally circumstantial. It could have just been a timing thing. Like, we have no idea. Stem cells just go where the body tells him. And if he was like, his oxygen level was the lowest we had seen it on that flight home. So his body very well could have just been like, hey guys, go there. Anyways, Kate, the reason we chose Serbia is because they offer stem cells, but they do 2 different methods, and they don't do IT, which I've always been very pro IT. Like, I'm like, try IT, okay? Because it doesn't have to pass the blood-brain barrier. There's new studies coming out that nasal canals also can go straight to the brain. Not guaranteed. Every patient is, completely their own person. Every individual is going to be affected differently and respond differently. But they offer nasal. They offer nebulizers, so into the lungs as well. And then they also offer intramuscular, which apparently is a slower release. Again, I don't know anything. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. This is just in my research. And if you're an autistic mom or a mom of an autistic child, our research is like pretty thorough. Anyways, from my research, not a doctor, but intramuscular shows that it's like releasing the stem cells a lot slower, kind of like how we naturally have, like, as you age, you get you have less stem cells because your body uses them. They're stored in like fat, bone marrow, different places. Anyways, in muscles, it's harder for them to release, so they release slower, so it's a longer span. They also do IV, so they do nasal, they do respiratory, so in the lungs, with a nebulizer treatment, and then they also do intramuscular and they do IV. The other thing is the reason that we did a 9-day protocol is because for 7 days they have to create these macrophages. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But essentially, and I tried to interview the clinic a little bit, and they were like, we don't like to share our practices because it's like we came up with this protocol, like the clinic came up with this protocol, and they don't necessarily want to be copied, but look into the word macrophages, so macrophages, and essentially that's like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly, but your white blood cells, right? They're the ones that fight everything. Oscar's have never once been at a normal level. He's always in like an allergic state almost, like his body's fighting something, but we can't necessarily tell what it is. And so they always thought like, oh, his asthma, right? Well, now that his asthma isn't flaring up, he's still showing that he's just higher in like an inflammatory response, right? And that's a big assumption in the severe and profound autism community. Oh my gosh, this is almost a 5-minute video. I just swore I was going to make it cheap. Anyways, so essentially, like, there's 2 versions of what these blood cells can do, and so it's like, one is inflame and tell the body, hey, get to work and get to work and get to working. And his has stayed in the inflame section of this like 2 categorization. So step 1 is inflame everything, freak out everywhere, make your whole body work to heal it. Number 2 is where it's actually the healing process. And after the inflammation, it goes in, de-inflammize, I don't even know if that's a word, makes the inflammation go away and tries to heal. So they take them out, and then they have to like, I really don't know what happens. I don't know if they derive anything. I don't know if they just let them chill out in a different environment. And then anyways, but they're like tied to Oscar's DNA. So the first day when you do all the testing, they actually take all the blood vials that they need, and then they do this. And then on that last day, they take and they alter. I don't know exactly. Okay, I will try and ask the doctor and see what she can tell me. But anyways, macrophages, look it up. Those are the main differences between all the clinics. And then this one is more expensive, but it's also a 9-day treatment plan instead of the typical 5 that we've done at the other 2.